yeah. Our lower bracket final. Welcome back to Raleigh and welcome back to Golden Guardians versus FlyQuest for game number 5. Golden Guardians looked dead to the world in game number 4. They came back at the 11th hour and found themselves now fighting in one last game for that spot at MSI and tomorrow's bout against Cloud9.
I mean, it's one of those moments that if they make the miracle happen, if they get to finals, if they win, it's going to be people looking back to that team fight, that moment here today that turned it all around.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Licorice is going to be happy tonight for sure, thinking back on that one. What an initiation. This is what competitive League of Legends is all about.
Yes, sir.
Game 5 playoffs in a giant stadium with all of these passionate fans here.
Well, we've got that Game 5 champion select coming up here real soon. But before we get there, let's hear from Prince on matching up with Stixxay.
스틱세이 선수 좀 듣기로는 이제 부머 이미지에 새로 나온 챔프들 많이 못한다 이러는데 실제로 같이 게임 해보면은 그렇게까지 막 놀림 받을 그 정도 실력은 아닌 것 같고 근데 종종 제 입장에서 보기에는 좀 커다란 실수들이 나와서 그런 게 제가 막 그렇게 무섭지 않은 이유 그런 거.
I watched professional league for many years before I played, and I watched people come in, I watched people go out, and yeah, just because I've been playing for so long, it's hard to get that feeling that, oh, you know, maybe it's my time to go out, because I've been playing for a really long time. But I never truly felt like I had lost it. I always knew kind of deep down that, you know, it's there. I just have to almost unlock it in a way. And that feeling made me want to keep trying. And every year I think I've tried harder and harder and harder. And finally it pays off.
I gotta say, it's game 5, man, so time to put some respect on Stixxay's name, because he's been playing a really strong series, including on this area, a new champ, but the Boomer's still got some hands.
It has been 7 years since he won with CLG and was there. And he wants to head back to the finals, but so does Prince, so do FlyQuest. This is their dream too. Let's get into the picks and bans. Will it be the Maokai? Will it be the Wukong? A lot of jungle attention.
So remember, blue side has a, 100% win rate so far this series? If Golden Guardians wants to take this, if Golden Guardians wants to make it to finals, they're going to have to find the recipe for success on red that neither side has been able to concoct so far.
And there it is, that Maokai, or the Maokai. The Maokai does find its ban list here by Golden Guardians. Taking that away from spica, he just keeps going back to it for their team fight, so critical. And yeah, the mouth fight also though, from Licorice.
I mean, we saw the recipe in the last game, just that FlyQuest finished the cake. It was perfect. They dropped it on the floor right before they ate it.
Very unfortunate.
So
prophetic.
Well, FlyQuest are going to first pick the Elise for themselves. It is Sejuani and Vi along with that Malphite banned away. Over on the other side, it's Annie, Wukong, and Maokai banned out.
Yeah, 4 jungle bans with the first pick, jungle Elise here for FlyQuest. You have to think then, Elise you always want to pair with like a Jayce or some attack damage mid laner, very aggressive, and that has been the go-to for VicLa. So Golden Guardians, I think, already have to have that in their minds. They're going to take away the Lucian Nami this time around.
Wow, just slamming it down there. Did play Lucian Nami, I believe, in their previous playoff series and had a really good game. One where they were able to get full prio through bot, use that to actually stack dragons, use that to call down Gori, to call over river, and to set up dives. So I want to see if they're going to be able to have that sort of a performance here again, because that is what they're going to need. But it's looking like VicLa Jayce, once again, this guy has been a fiend.
But one thing that is still available, the Lissandra that we saw Gori have such a good game on earlier. Maybe they pick that and try to deal with Jayce through that angle. They will have one more pick before the second part of the bans comes through, but because one side has a solo laner plus a jungler, the other side has the 2 bottom lane players, we already know the draft will not be mirrored in terms of roles picked before the bans come in. FlyQuest putting some additional priority on those solo lanes, making sure Impact gets his Sion.
I'm glad. I really do like this from FlyQuest, though, throwing it down. It's not like you're going to catch them
River
right
Jarvan
away.
this time! It's River Jarvan this time! Sorry, I was really excited.
It for sure is, Flowers. There is like the tiniest sliver of a possibility that they would like flex the top side, but
It's Nami jungle.
that is in the 0.1 decimals. And River, the reason he's known for Jarvan is because when he first came into the LCS, he was a gank machine and was single-handedly carrying his team through so many creative angles, jumping over the Fog of War, through the back of Dragon Pit, all of these things, coming behind your enemy's bottom lane, and really making you play so much more afraid than you previously had. But I have to say, still, back to my original point on the Elise, getting that pairing with the Jayce immediately early on is just such a strong combo. I don't think they're going to be too scared.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what he can get done because, you know, when he did come in, he was on Dignitas and he was able to find all these ganks and was really the catalyst to most of, if not all of their wins on the Jarvan. It got to the point where it was a must ban against him. You could not allow him to have his pick because he was going to be the guy to crush you in the early game and to really snowball those games. So double marksman ban over to Prince, really trying to limit the options there.
But one thing that's worth pointing out, the Xayah that Prince has already played multiple times this series is still up and available, as is Rakan in her duo that would give Winsome an engaged champion to play there. It's Gwen and Talia banned out by FlyQuest, Zeri and Varus banned out by the Golden Guardians. Golden Guardians got to pick solo laners here. They already know both enemy solo lanes.
They could also take a page out of Golden Guardians books and go towards a Caitlyn, right? Caitlyn is still actually up and available here if they want to look for that. The Fiora as the answer into the Sion did not work out in that first game, but largely to me that was because they failed to control the early dragon. So they never actually bought time for Licorice to get to the 2-3 items and be able to actually win through split push. And that's kind of what they have to do here. In this game, though, they have such a better bot side to actually do that with. You have Lucian, Nami, and you have Jarvan. So if you can actually play how you want to play, and especially if this Lissandra gets locked in, you use these 4 picks to potentially set up dives on bot side, to get pressure there, to take early dragons, and then that is used as a lever to buy time for Licorice to get what he needs to get done in the side lanes.
And even level 2 gank mid is on the menu right now for Golden Guardians. There's so much explosive power here. River has options all over the map. I think level 1 this game is going to be incredibly important. FlyQuest should try and get deep ward on red buff. Make sure you know where Jarvan is going.
This is it. This is what it all comes down to. 4 games played so far. FlyQuest take that first one. Golden Guardians hit back. FlyQuest take another one. It looks like FlyQuest should then just take another one, but no. Golden Guardians hit back. And now there's no more do-overs. There's no more additional chances. Either you win this next game or we'll see you in Summer Split.
Yeah, and you have to wonder, you know, where FlyQuest heads are at, because I think everyone watching that game was saying, well, congratulations, FlyQuest, you know, you're going to the finals, you're going to MSI, and to have that victory torn away from you at the last moment can really get in your head. So I want to see, is FlyQuest going to be able to play with confidence in this 5th and final game?
Let's make some noise for it as we're about to load in to Summoner's Rift for the last time today, the last time in this series, to determine who takes the win and plays Cloud9 tomorrow. Whoa. We didn't even have time. We didn't even have time for the full hype intro. We're immediately into the players, trading a couple of blows with auto attacks, fighting for that level 1 vision.
You have to get a level 1 deep ward against Jarvan. This one's going to see the transition between quadrants, and this one will make sure you know which buff he's starting on, whether it is red or blue.
They did ping it out so they know exactly where it is, but there's double wards in his jungle. There's one on the blue and one over by the wolf, so no shot you're going to be able to clear them both out.
If you go back, if before you drop your own ward before 50 seconds and you get a sweeper, then you can go back out and try and clear it. But look at FlyQuest, they're guarding their wards.
Yeah.
So even though multiple Golden Guardians members, both River as well as huhi, switch over to their sweepers, FlyQuest stuck around and protected their wards.
There's even another ward up on top side. So they had a ward over by Raptor Pit as well. So there's 3 early wards invested to track this Jarvan. They know the threat that he provides.
I love to see it. That's the first thing I say at Champion Select. Imperative for FlyQuest. And they're even doing the extended Sion leash. We have seen this multiple times, you know, BDS in the LEC as well.
Wow, immediate engage from FlyQuest here in the 2v2. huhi forced to flash and heal, traded for the heal and ignite of FlyQuest.
The whole point, though, when we see these split maps with the Sion trying to leash for you, is that the Sion comes, and oftentimes they will just dive and sacrifice the Sion and get zombie Sion and dive your bottom lane. So I expect that to actually happen here. You leash Spica, you get him level 3 on Elise, and you get your dive timing.
But they actually messed up the wave. They pushed too fast. I don't know if they're going to have the timing right
Just
here.
hard push the next one.
Yeah.
River's on the way. They'll see
River
him.
wants to stop this. At least hover it, get some sort of a counterattack. He knows to go around the long way. He knows that FlyQuest is waiting for this. Impact's gonna lead the charge, decimating Smash. Not gonna find a valid target. And with the teleport coming in, now Spica's in trouble. The enemy jungler flashes, but he doesn't flash anywhere valuable. It's first blood to the Golden Guardian.
You either walk your way to the wall and flash over the wall, or you don't flash at all, Flowers. That spider was trapped, and that spider goes back to the fountain.
Yeah, that is rough, man. Licorice responding with the TP. Golden Guardians played it out really, really well. I was expecting more of a slow stack, but River's just gonna go mid. He's dead.
Oh, Gori with the flash root, so River can get the flag and drag on his corpse. The turret gets Gori, but it does not matter. Golden Guardians start off 2-0.
That Jarvan level 2 gank mid is still on the menu even after the bottom lane plays. This is how I want to start a game 5.
Oh, Stixxay with a nice sidestep as Winsome tries to make a grand entrance. Remember, blue buff on Lucian just means spell spam all day.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, thankfully, FlyQuest still have the push. Stixxay has not been able to actually spend up the gold he got from that first blood, which is going to be massive. And still, there's not a lot of camps for River to farm, so he's going to go into the enemy jungle, try to take away this red buff here, and he can actually go potentially back towards mid. Look again if VicLa is over pushing.
Jarvan just now hitting level 3 almost 4 minutes into the game, but hey, that's fine. His job is to make plays. VicLa jumping in after Gori here. Because VicLa goes in like that, I think River's predicting Spica to be nearby, so he doesn't just want to jump in for the gank.
He was spotted by a ward.
Okay. Well, right now, he can just clear out this bottom side scuttle. That's going to alleviate some of that pressure that you were talking about where all the camps had been farmed, so at least there's more stuff for him to take, keep the game moving forward. Let's take another look at how this happened bottom.
Yeah, so they know it as well because we've seen this in multiple leagues across the world. And so the teleport comes in. At that point, FlyQuest say we're going to call it, but River hits the flag and drag onto Spica. He gets slowed from it, so he knows he is really close to lethal right now, and he just panic flashes.
Yeah, it gets really low there. And the worst part about this is that during this, Fiora hard shoved top because she realized what was happening as well. So Fiora bounced the wave before TPing. Fiora did not have to TP on a bad wave, which means as soon as Sion went back towards top, the wave was hard pushing away from him, which created an even bigger advantage there from Licorice.
I think the biggest part to me is that they were still able to get that early game plan of gank the mid lane as well with the Lissandra Jarvan combination off the ground, even when thrown the curveball early on. So Golden Guardians, those veterans really being able to stay focused in a game 5 with this sort of thing happening.
But we do have to keep our eyes on this mid lane. Remember that VicLa's Jayce has been huge in the games that it's been played so far. It is a massive reason for both of the FlyQuest wins in this series. Gori's Lissandra was also paramount in their first victory.
Absolutely, but this is not VicLa playing with Cleanse. You know, he has no ability to actually deal with that Lissandra ult, so it's going to be very difficult. One of the big things that was a difference maker in these previous games was everyone was all in on Prince, and he just got to go melee form and go crazy, right? If you get that aggressive, you're going to get locked down by the Lissandra.
He does have flash advantage in mid right now, and so that's why River is coming to cover at this moment. They want to make sure he can get this wave in. I love that from River. He's really playing such close attention, as always, with his Jarvan to these lanes.
Well, first Drake of the game is on the menu here for the side of FlyQuest. They're making sure that they can start stacking these nice and early. It's been a story for a lot of the games so far in this series. The last one really being the only one where the Drakes were put off to the side as non-important early on, and FlyQuest are going to get this no contest.
When we talked about the importance of these early dragons, I did expect with Lucian, Nami, with the Jarvan and Lissandra that they would be able to actually grab these early dragons for themselves. Again, it is FlyQuest doing it. And if this game does stabilize, sure, Golden Guardians have a little bit of an advantage, but you still need to be able to buy time for the Fiora to play through side lanes. That is why you go for this pick. Fiora's not going to crush the Sion in the early levels. You really do need your Mythic. You really do need multiple items to start dominating. And they've got to make sure they get this next dragon or two so that Fiora isn't just pulled into 5v5s.
Right. Well, that'll be up to Stixxay and huhi. Remember, Lucian, Nami, despite the fact that they're known for their early game, that really comes into play on those first item power spikes. That's when these two are going to be ferocious. That's when I want to see Golden Guardians playing around the neutrals. River making another trip into mid, but VicLa's too close to the turret to really set anything up. Stixxay wants to go in, but he holds his dash, the relentless pursuit to get back out away from Winsome.
Yeah, Jarvan is just going to live between mid lane and bottom lane. He is not going to have any top lane proximity in this game. You want to play off of Lissandra ult, and they call Lissandra from mid lane for the bottom lane dive. Double blast cone over, force them off the tower at the very least.
Here we go. Winsome wants to stop him. There's the wombo combo. They lock down Prince, and they got the damage to guarantee the kill. Golden Guardians force Winsome back, kill Prince in front of him, and collide the wave into the turret.
And a great way to use the Spellbook Ignite that Gori had actually swapped over to. They hard commit to that play. They use his flash, they use his Ignite, they get that kill onto Prince, which means not only the gold from the kill, but denial of the minions. They get a play here. The trade back on the other side is through mid lane, though, where VicLa is grabbing some plates of his own.
Yeah, he's also denying minions. He's also getting turret plates for himself. And Spica knows bottom side play just went off, so he's going to start the Rift Herald with their bottom lane recalling. You see the swap right now from FlyQuest. They've got their bottom lane there first, so they want to burn down this objective.
FlyQuest saying, okay, we know you guys took first Drake. We're going to take the chance. Or we know we took first Drake, and we're just going to keep snowballing that into these neutral objectives, grab themselves the first Herald, try to make up some of this deficit with that.
But I like the decision here from Golden Guardians. They weren't in a position to actually contest. You don't have ult, you don't have flash on Lissandra. You just spent a lot down on bot side. So instead of trying to actually move up and take a losing fight there, just continue pushing through bot. Continue denying minions, trying to take those plates.
If they go for this dive, Gori has a defensive teleport that could be used, and River is here. So Golden Guardians are covering Licorice. That's why they're allowing him to still stay around and get experience.
Winsome is going to be the first one spotted there by River. River knows he cannot engage on the Rakan. Grand entrance gets you away from Jarvan's EQ combo in time. Gori goes in, finds the little bit of damage onto VicLa, but bone plating blocks most of it.
And look at the XP disadvantage from Winsome to huhi. Winsome is down 2 levels right now on this Nami. So, he is really not in a strong point. He needs to make sure that he is soaking enough experience to still get some levels under your belt. He just things 5 now. But sometimes you can get stuck in these situations where you're over roaming and you're just not actually getting any XP.
Well, we do have the Gale Force completed on Stixxay's Lucian. He's feeling really good about that first item power spike. Still need a little bit more money on huhi before we get the first item on the Nami as well. We've got 2 more minutes before the second Drake spawns, and that's where we really want to see Golden Guardians make sure they stop the Drake stacking, make sure that they're allowing Licorice to scale into that late game side lane threat that you were talking about earlier, Isaac.
And I think they're going to continue to try and punish Prince. There are no summoner spells on this Xayah. Even post level 6, you've got way better dive. You have Lissandra, you have Jarvan, you can keep throwing people at him.
And remember, it's not cleanse, right? Prince is not electing to go cleanse because it's really only the Lissandra stuff that you would cleanse, so he didn't feel that he could actually justify going for that. But that is going to mean anytime that Gori is able to connect you, you are in big trouble unless you're willing to build a QSS, which is going to feel even worse.
Right, it's easy to say only the Lissandra stuff, but the Claw plus ulti range has an incredible amount of reach, and especially with how many angles you can use it to approach from over the terrain, it's very scary. As VicLa zones Gori away from the wave here back in mid, but now Gori's ready to fight back. Finds a little bit of trading. River's the closer jungler to bottom. It's Spica closer to the mid lane here as River just continues trying to farm up. This Jarvan that, remember, had 9 farm at 4 minutes is now outpacing the Elise.
Yeah. I mean, he's just, again, back towards this bottom side here, looking to perhaps threaten a dive onto Impact, who is fairly tanky, but not going to be tanky enough to survive in a 1v3.
Yeah, River's just going to lead the charge against him here. Just forces him back. The goal isn't kill Sion. The goal is make Sion leave so you can get the plates and take the turret. Now River's recognizing it's time to get away from this fight. Golden Guardians are not being collapsed on by anybody from FlyQuest. FlyQuest instead overloading the opposite side of the map because FlyQuest have the Herald. It's still in Spica's inventory, so when you're racing down side lanes, that's an advantage. But it's Golden Guardians who will claim the first turret bonus.
And it could be 2 turrets in exchange for this because Rift Herald allows you to push even harder, and the secondary turrets up on the top side are a whole 800 gold, so FlyQuest will get a second charge off even if they do sacrifice other half of the map. Recall now for the bottom lane as well. With huhi coming up, they don't want to fully give up that much gold.
It is interesting to me because I thought that Golden Guardians were going to be willing to make this play of giving up those 2 crashes from the Herald because I thought they were going to stay bot and actually just immediately do Dragon because it was spawning, right? To try to make sure that they steal one away. Instead, they do elect to base to actually set up for that. It is the 1-item spike on Lucian and Nami, so that dreaded power spike here has come through. Mandate, plus the Gale Force is available. I want to see Golden Guardians really commit to playing for this Dragon. They got to take one away from FlyQuest to slow down the game. Give Licorice his time.
Gore Drinker on Jarvan also going to give River some extra survivability when he engages these fights. Winsome is still only level 5 on the Rakan. Does not have quickness available. FlyQuest with control over the bottom side River, and Golden Guardians are going nowhere near it. This should just be second Drake for free over to FlyQuest.
Yep, Licorice is going to stay up on that top side, try and get some turret plate money for himself, and see how much they can actually get out of it. With VicLa going over, though, at most he probably gets 1.
Yeah, he has the Mauler, so he might get 2, but I do think it's a mistake. I really do. With Rakan at level 5, I feel like you should be able to win that 5v5. You're on really good big spikes on your bot lane. You have the Gore Drinker, but they're going mid.
They go in after Prince. They're going to find a lot of damage onto him and Winsome both, but not enough to get the kill. Golden Guardians go for it. They get 4 summoner spells, but they will not find lethal damage.
Are they done yet? Gori here with Lissandra ult.
Prince has nothing. Gori wants to get back over the wall, though. FlyQuest reinforce in time to save the players stranded under the tower.
Now, this is going to be one of those games, because Golden Guardians, again, has given up those early Dragons to try to build a gold lead, where they are going to have to take this 5v5 and show that they can execute on it, even with this Fiora, who really would rather be in the 1v1s in these 2v2s, these small-scale skirmishes. So we'll see if Golden Guardians can execute, because despite the early gold lead for Golden Guardians, if they show up to this Dragon and they lose that fight, and FlyQuest moves to Soul Point, I really start to favor them and their position in this game. Infernal Soul so strong for Xayah, so strong for this Jayce as well. And the Sion is still going to be that brick wall in those 5v5s.
The one thing that FlyQuest do not have in this game that they've had in the previous ones where they've controlled things on the blue side is Spica on that Maokai to guarantee that they've got these angles, they've got these engages fighting for the neutral objectives. Elise will be much weaker in those situations, so I want to see how well FlyQuest can keep this momentum with the Drakes going.
All right, Licorice going to be able to push out back again on Fiora on this side lane. See if they can actually get some advantage in moving over their vision towards the second Rift Herald about to spawn here.
Yep.
Looks like with the commitment on bottom side there, Impact does have teleport ready, but it's going to be a pretty quick start from Golden Guardians. So it would be playing catch up if FlyQuest really wanted to invest everything.
They are at least moving over to maybe check, but you can see some people are basing, so they're not going to do anything more than just take this blue buff away. But that is going to mean good things here for Golden Guardians. Not only do they have the potential to actually crack this mid turret, they can save it for the next Dragon to try to use that as an easier way into the river.
Yeah.
And I think you use it on the other side of the map where Licorice is split pushing. So then you give more threat to this Fiora, and you try and get your Fiora to 2 items. Once you get the Ravenous, then you really can actually have big pressure from pushing side lanes in quickly and looking for different angles onto FlyQuest.
So the important thing to also remember about our third Drake fight, this will be the first one in the game where teleports are unleashed. With so many of these games having the incredibly early first Drake around 6 minutes or so, you go through 2 entire Drake fights without unleashed teleport. So that could be a big game changer coming up as Stixxay gets jumped on by Prince. He dashes back away to fire the calling. Winsome tried to use the quickness there to lock him down. Stixxay gets out, but it costs him his cleanse.
Yeah, they do get that cleanse. He's going to have the Gale Force back. You know, that is that 90-second cooldown, but the cleanse will not be up for this Dragon fight, so that could potentially be pretty big. Important, though, that Stixxay was able to hold on to the Flash. If he lost Flash before this Dragon fight, that could have spelled trouble.
So let me ask you guys, what is the most important champion on the Rift coming up in this Dragon fight. Because I'm looking at the Lucian Nami there on their power spike. The Jayce from VicLa has put in so much work when left untouched, and Impact has been a terror in neutral fights the entire game. What's the win con here in this next one? Hold on. Never mind. Okay, we're cool.
And I think you know, for Golden Guardians, it's more about the engage. It's about Gori and River. It's about their combo. And on the other side, it's really, can VicLa and Prince stay safe?
They're going for a pinch onto Fiora here.
They want to kill Licorice. He issues the grand challenge and wants to kill him right back. Another lunge, looking for the last vitals. Licorice has outplayed him and slayed him. Licorice gets the kill on VicLa, and Licorice sets up the Golden Guardians for a Drake thereafter.
Golden Guardians get 2 kills on bot side, and they get the turret crash on mid lane here. 40 seconds, though, until this dragon spawns, and both TPs are available for the FlyQuest solo laners. So they will be able to still join this, and we'll have to see, are the cooldowns going to be back for Golden Guardians on the other side? Because despite the fact that they get those kills, FlyQuest can still fight for Drake.
Flowers, you just mentioned the unleashed teleports, and Golden Guardians fight around Licorice now. They're going to try and get something back for the turret.
Stixxay wants to dump the culling into the health bars of the bottom lane of FlyQuest. They both get thrown up into the air. They both get killed. Solo laners might be back for the Drake, but Prince and Winsome are dead.
They've just won the Drake fight before the Drake even arrived.
Golden Guardians are just getting so aggressive, moving around the map here, and River is showing why his Jarvan is to be feared. This River Gori combo has been incredible. FlyQuest are poking around. They're going to see if they can try to steal.
River has no smite. River has no smite. This is a very important part of this upcoming contest. Stixxay getting away from the Sion. Gori in the middle of everybody. River trying to tank it up. Spica repels, buys a little bit more time. Gori is down, but they're going to trade him away for VicLa. Spica escapes back over the wall, and River and the remainder of Golden Guardians can secure the Drake at last. Licorice will chase Impact off. It's a 1-for-1 trade, mid for mid, but Golden Guardians stop the stack.
A massive, massive dragon here for Golden Guardians and their chances at winning this series. They have now bought so much time for Licorice because Soul cannot come in for another 10 minutes at the fastest. That's so much time for Licorice to complete his second, his third item, and to get work done in those side lanes.
And that dragon came off of exactly how Golden Guardians have to play this comp. They're playing the map. It is defend the Licorice split push play, they win that. Then they defend the tower push play in mid, get their picks there. So they didn't have to fight straight front to back for this dragon. They got their picks on the other part of the map first, and then knowing that Prince is in the graveyard and FlyQuest don't have the options of a straight up fight, they burn it down. They're happy to trade the 1-for-1 to get their dragon.
huhi's tidal wave shot off from the flank to cover Stixxay's retreat as Winsome and Spica chased after the Golden Guardians marksman. Golden Guardians now setting up their solo laners in the sides as River is showing them their own logo, taunting them here. Oh, he's just got no fear. Yeah. He's just daring them.
His movement, man, you know, he is daring them. He knows his position in this game. He knows he's having a great game here. And a lot of this series to me has been, so goes mid-jungle battle, so goes the game, right?
Yeah.
And this game has been all about River and Gori here again. These two mid-jungles between these two teams have been battling back and forth time and time again and really showcasing their skill.
That's why I say, oh, never mind, side ult.
They want to engage, but the engage only finds River. They really want to follow it up. They want to burst him down. He brings the Cataclysm. He heals up, but it ain't going to be enough. Winsome is dead. Prince is dead. Golden Guardians strike back for vengeance, and they strike true. Stixxay gets a double kill, and FlyQuest just lost 3.
The taunt worked. They said nobody flashes our own logo at us. They go for River, but it cost them 2 kills and a tower, Flowers. That is 3 kills actually for Golden Guardians. They only drop River, the classic taunt.
And they can push up towards top now as well. They are going to be able to clear out this wave at least, so they will defend their tier 1 top for now. But another huge play here. Look at Stixxay. He is getting so fed on this Lucian. He's nearly 2,000 gold ahead now of his counterpart, a good 1,600 gold up on Prince.
Golden Guardians are in their heads now, living rent-free. He throws his flag. He knows now you don't have flag and trag to escape, but you saw River again pressed S there. He knows, I will tank this. He's got his team around him. The teleport comes in from Gori, and look at this Lissandra arrival. Boom, insta-kill. 2 members go down. You get 2 Lissandra passives. Then they clean up Impact as well.
Yeah, that is, he's having a laugh and knows he maybe overplayed his hand a little bit, but they still come out on top with it. Licorice as well completed that second item. There's the Ravenous Hydra. So now the wave clear is really there to start pushing up and pressuring in that side lane. The sustain is there as well. You know, in that previous game he played Fiora, he did go towards Frozen Heart third. I actually really do like that build because Fiora is pretty mana hungry when you're trying to fast push those waves. And I do think it allows you to team fight pretty well here too. But we'll see where Licorice wants to take us.
Golden Guardians, 5,000 gold up. 90 seconds until the 4th Drake of the game spawns. Licorice has his sights set on this bottom lane split push roll yet again, and he's not afraid of impact at all.
And they give him blue buff here, so he's got the blue buff now. That's going to deal with any sort of mana issue, so we'll see what he can get done in this side lane. Unfortunately, he has no vision on the bot side, so he can't really push too heavily, as it is Golden Guardians playing 4 strong up towards the Baron. Because if multiple members commit down to that Fiora, you want to be able to threaten the Baron start.
Licorice also having his Unleashed teleport. He can join up if FlyQuest sends everybody over there. And right now, Impact with his own Unleashed teleport down there in bottom lane. Impact only level 12, Licorice level 14. FlyQuest 5k behind, trying to stop Golden Guardians from taking this Baron. Golden Guardians going nice and slow. They just want to force the issue. Now they're falling back. They got the TP out of the Sion. That's all they needed to start. Now Impact's here on the front line, and FlyQuest are looking for an angle to fight. River's going to be locked down by the quickness, but Winsome is about to die. Stixxay's unstoppable, and Golden Guardians just found him. River into the back, but Stixxay dies to Prince. Gori dies to Prince. River is about to die to Prince. Licorice goes in. River stays alive. Spica falls next. Prince and Winsome are gone, but so are Gori and Stixxay. Golden Guardians still looking for a little bit more. Huhi goes forward. Licorice goes over the wall, and Impact is not going anywhere.
They've still got Licorice. They can push out on the extra wave and try and get the turret as well afterwards. That got dicey though with the dive in there. As soon as Stixxay went down, Golden Guardians had to be a little bit more cautious. In the end, it's still the extra kill plus an objective here, and they do get a turret for themselves. Plus, the teleport from Impact. That Sion side lane teleport is big. FlyQuest used the opportunity, though, to try and jump on the dragon.
FlyQuest going for a YOLO Drake here. It would take him to Soul Point, but River and the Golden Guardians are coming in. They don't want to let him have it for free. It's a massive steal if River's able to get it. He goes to the EQ, a little bit more damage. River steals Infernal Drake, and now they're gonna pick up the bodies to go with it. Spica's down, VicLa's down, Winsome's down. Golden Guardians, they're marching over to Baron.
Yeah, they're gonna take Baron as well here, and FlyQuest are seeing their shot at a finals fade away before their eyes. Licorice even chasing down Prince, he pops the ghost. Prince is not getting out of this one, he got no ult, bud.
Licorice ready to run him down. He's been getting cold, washed up for so long, and he just absolutely crashes into him like a tidal wave.
What a story for these Golden Guardians. The best season in the history of the organization, and they are walking towards their first ever finals appearance.
Impact coming down, trying to stop Licorice, but the damage is already done. A 10,000 gold lead at 24 minutes for the Golden Guardians.
It is getting out of control here. Licorice is monstrously strong. Just bought a full Shojin since the last time we checked in. We can see this one more time. FlyQuest trying to get out on the map, trying to have Soul as a potential win condition to burst this down, but River arrives.
And look how intelligent it is. He doesn't use his auto. He saves his Jarvan passive auto for Jarvan passive auto plus Score Drinker plus Smite. Really good steal there from River. Yoinks it away, combos all three. Huhi is so happy. All of these veterans from Golden Guardians, Licorice has not been in finals since he was there with Cloud9. Stixxay has not been there in 7 years, and now they're at the doorstep.
All right, boys, let's see what this base siege looks like. Baron for 2 minutes. Golden Guardians, 12,000 gold ahead. Drake's even. Stixxay leading the charge, calling on to Prince and Winsome, gonna force him back. Stixxay losing about half HP there as well. Impact rotating up to join the rest of the team. Licorice doing just fine here on his own. Gori and River applying pressure over the wall, looking to be able to engage on either one of these turrets if they present a dive. Gori goes in, but now the counterattack from FlyQuest does nothing. Stixxay gets the kill, and FlyQuest are trying to get back into the game. Spica dies, Gori's in the stasis, and now Stixxay continues to kite. Impact can't do it. Golden Guardians are absolutely decimating FlyQuest.
FlyQuest trying to clear out these waves, trying to hold on as best as they can, but it is still a two-man advantage for Golden Guardians right now. They're going to be able to take the inhibitor very easily and just back it up.
Licorice is a monster. This man is unleashed. Legendary 905 on the Fiora, 3 items. Absolutely monstrous.
And it's him doing it his own way. This is a guy who came into the league on Cloud9, had so much success in the early years of his career, was considered to be one of, if not the best top laners in the LCS, then went to FlyQuest, then went to Golden Guardians, had been getting overlooked, had been thought of as this washed up player who had not been able to reach those high highs. And he is showcasing throughout this entire playoff run that not only can he get it done, he can dominate and he can do it on carries.
I love how this team has learned and improved over playoffs. It was the 100 Thieves series where Golden Guardians said, throw those top lane tanks in the garbage. We're going counter picks. We trust our players. And now they're being rewarded for it. Let's see if they can finish though. FlyQuest, the hopeful, are still alive here. What can they do about it?
Golden Guardians setting up shop. They have the top lane inhibitor already down, mid lane inhibitor turret vulnerable, bottom lane wave ready to crash.
He thinks Gori and River both have flash. There's no sums on Prince. He is going to be the target almost certainly.
Gori throwing a claw over the wall just to scare FlyQuest back a little bit. Creates a little bit more space as well for Stixxay and huhi to continue shoving up here in the bottom lane. Mid lane inhibitor now exposed. Licorice pushing with super minions, has 2 of them stacked up, and he collides with the first Nexus turret. FlyQuest are just being pulled too many different directions, and the pressure continues piling on. Mid lane inhibitor below half HP, and Golden Guardians take it out. That first Nexus turret is barely standing.
And with this positioning from Licorice, Gori, and River, it's so difficult to walk down and even defend that bot lane tower because you are going to get flanked if you do it. FlyQuest are going to try to go for it, but will we see the engage?
Stixxay gets shielded. Yes, we will. River goes in, and Prince goes down. FlyQuest just can't fight back. The dive from the Golden Guardians is beautiful. Gori's going to follow it up, and FlyQuest are done. They beat 100 Thieves. They beat EG. Today, they beat FlyQuest. All that glitters is gold, and the Guardians are going to the finals.
What a year for the Golden Guardians. They finished the regular season 9-9 in 6th place, and they're going to meet Cloud9 in the finals.
Another team, you think back to last year, EG 9-9 in spring, made the run through the lower bracket. Miracles can happen. They won it all. Then Golden Guardians are going to have their shot to win it all right here tomorrow. And you think about how crazy this series was. When you go back to Game 4 and the position FlyQuest was in, where this series looked all wrapped up in 4. It should have been a FlyQuest 3-1, but Golden Guardians persevered as they have all playoffs long. They find their moment, they find their window, and they slam it home. They win Game 4, they come back, and they dominate Game number 5 to close this one out.
The Golden Guardians have found it necessary to make these calls that are so risky to come back in games and actually find success. The Baron sneak in that game number 4. Then the push, the Gori Tristana sec into turret for 1,000 gold shutdown to be able to get here. They have done so much. Stixxay jumping in the 100 Thieves series to win it all for them.
You know what it is? It's that Q attitude. That's what they brought to the Rift. That's what they brought to the LCS this split, and that has what's brought them all this way. They're going to the finals. They just beat FlyQuest. I don't know if you guys remember, but this was the team that the whole first half of the split, everybody was just being like, oh damn, we gotta play FlyQuest this week. Guess it's not gonna be a 2-0, whatever, we'll win the other one. Golden Guardians just went the distance and beat them in a best of 5.
And
holy cow.
You can see the pain there on the FlyQuest members' faces. You know, they thought this was their series to win, and it's been torn away from them by the Golden Guardians. FlyQuest, though, a strong split for them. We know these guys are going to be back. We know that they can learn from this loss, improve for summer, but it's definitely time for celebration on the other side, and this is sports. For there to be a winner, there has to be a loser as well, and the euphoria that's felt by Golden Guardians is matched by that agony of losing this match that you feel was in your hands, that you feel you were meant to win on the other side. And you know, it's both a beautiful and a sad thing. You know, to see the juxtaposition, these 5 members on either side who are feeling such different things, such opposite sides of the spectrum.
For something new to be created, something old has to be destroyed. FlyQuest's dominance of the LCS in spring ends here. And for Golden Guardians, this will be their first time ever in a final, competing for the right to the title, competing for the LCS trophy. Incredible stuff from these guys.
And they have earned it with so much hard work. You know, the playoff series like this are about big moments and game 5s and making those big plays, having the confidence to take those risks. And Golden Guardians have done it time and again.
The Golden Guardians are in the finals. In the history of their organization prior to this split, they had only won 1 playoff series ever.
Incredible, incredible performance from this team so far. And tomorrow we'll get to see them again in the championship bout against Cloud9. We're gonna hear from huhi, Stixxay, and the Golden Guardians in just a bit. But while we get there, let's go ahead and head back to the LCS Lounge.
Thank you so very much, CaptainFlowers. Do you believe in magic? Because Golden Guardians is creating it on that stage today. They take the series after it goes the distance against FlyQuest. This is the 6th seed making the miracle run through the lower bracket to get their shot at the finals once again, and the first for the org.
It's incredible. Second time in LCS history a 6th seed has made it to the finals. The fact that they did it too in this way, with game 4 feeling completely hopeless and then absolutely obliterating them in game 5.
There's a lot of stuff here. I mean, just weird correlations, right? Because the last time a 6th seed made finals was 2016, when huhi and Stixxay were on CLG and beat the 6th seed TSM that they were going up against. Stixxay hasn't been to an international event in 2,500 days. Like, they just did so much incredible stuff.
They had ice water in their veins. How many times have been, like, all of us counted them out? It happened in the 100 Thieves series. It happened in game 4 when they were going to lose. It felt like they were going to lose in the way that they did. At every stage, there was, and of course, Evil Geniuses. Not a lot of people thought that they would beat Evil Geniuses. I was like, okay, they look like a great team. So at every stage, we counted them out, and it felt like when it mattered most, they served up wins.
Yeah, I was gonna say the poise that we saw from this team, like in that game 4, to go for that Baron, knowing like, okay, you know, it's a flip at best, but this is what we have to do. Coming into this game 5, their response to the Sion swap was good. River was all over the map on Jarvan, as we see here, and then Licorice was just cleaning up in side lanes. I think they did such a good job of evolving from game to game to game in this series, but also series to series to series in the playoffs, right? Like, we've seen them kind of find an identity. We've seen them in particular in how they've played around Licorice and used the flexibility of some of their players in draft.
Not only everything we've said, but the fact that they've now had to do it as the lower seed, meaning they had to get that game on red, and you know, once per series. They do it here in game number 5. It's got to feel sweet. It's got to feel special. We're going to go ahead and join Gabby, Stixxay, huhi, and the whole rest of Golden Guardians for our Verizon post-game interview.
Thank you so much, Dash. After a 5-game series, Golden Guardians pulled it off. Stixxay, it has been 2,547 days since the last time you stepped onto a final stage. What is rushing through your head right now after what you just accomplished?
I mean, there's a lot of adrenaline, a lot of stuff going on. I was definitely more nervous than I anticipated, but I mean, it's just such a blessing to be here in front of so many people, and I'm just really grateful. So.
A very different story for multiple members of Golden Guardians achieving this feat. huhi, 4th straight finals appearance for you, but a different squad entirely. Some familiar faces, of course. What makes a difference going into the finals with Golden Guardians after a 5-game series today?
I I mean, I'm just really excited to go finals again, back to back to back to back. Especially with my boy Stixxay, because last time we were in finals, we won the championship. So I'm hoping to do that again.
Speaking of this partnership we see right here, there has been a lot of vocality from multiple members of the team, bringing everyone together. Stixxay, you were speaking in a DGON interview about how you were talking to different teams in the offseason, but once you knew Golden Guardians was bringing huhi in, that's what locked it in for you coming to this squad. So what was that difference maker? How did it all play through with the strength that you show as a duo in the bot lane, different from the last time you came onto a final stage together?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, just because I played with him previously, I know how he operates. I know he just has a winning mindset. He knows how to win, and I think, especially in the support role, it just enables him so well to lead and get everyone on the same page. And I mean, he just carries our team, I think. So.
And huhi, you got to lead with a lot of different looks. There's a lot of draft flexibility coming from Golden Guardians in general. The Rel in the last series, the J4 earlier on today. What was that like, having such versatility to be able to lead the team?
I mean, for me, like, it's a lot of props to my teammates and my coaching staff to trust me, because champions like Umumu that I played last week and the Jarvan that I played this week, I haven't played a single time in scrims. And I'm just saying it in the moment that I think it will be good, and then pulling it up. And a lot of respect to my coaching staff and my teammates, because that means that they're putting a lot of trust in me.
What about you, Stixxay? How do you feel when huhi says, I want to play this pick that I haven't played once in scrims?
I mean, he's really aware of things he's good at and bad at. So when he says he wants to take a champion, I really trust that he knows he's going to be good at it. But yeah, kind of on the same note, like we came into this match, and I think we haven't scrimmed in almost a week. We had like a really long day of travel, not very much sleep, and so yeah, we were kind of coming in pretty fresh to this match. So I'm really proud we could bring it together, but we'll have to step it up to do well tomorrow.
That resilience is so important, and I want to get your thoughts here first, and then huhi as well. Going into this finals match, that also means qualification to MSI. You have had such a redemption arc throughout the entirety of the season. From the play you had against 100 Thieves, now making it through multiple playoff series. How does it feel to be stepping onto the international stage after you get through this final match?
It's hard to put into words. It's like what I dreamed of. Yeah, it's just hard to put in words. I'm just like so happy I could make it back and get a chance to play versus the best competition in the world. So.
And what about you, huhi? I know it's going to be amazing going to MSI and really being able to showcase what NA and what Golden Guardians have to offer for the first time for the organization in attendance there.
Yeah, I mean, MSI, we're really happy to make it there, but we want to focus on the next step because job is not done here.
Yes. Still more work to be done. I do want to hear more words from your teammates as well, so I'm going to let y'all join the rest of the team while I welcome in the top laner that showed out tremendously for Golden Guardians. We'll take that mic from you as well. Oh, you have your own. Okay. You're already very well equipped. Licorice, what a series from you today. I do want to dive a little bit more specifically into the gameplay because it feels like Game 4 was so crucial, being able to come back. And a lot of that came from your play, these ultimates really popping off. Tell me about your experience in that game.
Yeah, I really thought we were going to lose that game, if I'm being totally honest. Like, I was in game, I was like, man, this is so doomed. And then Gori had a really nice play mid, and then after that, we had the one team fight, instantly won the game. It's like, okay, like, thank God.
And a lot of that comes in trust within the teammates. We've heard a lot about trust in the coaching staff. For you specifically, that coaching staff was talking about you and Stixxay, that coming into this year, having a lot to prove, now having the pieces built around you to be able to really showcase what you can do. We've seen it before. What has that journey been like for you, relying on players like Gori to make the plays, but also you stepping up with a very big champ pool to show off?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a lot of fun. I feel like just having good players around me has had me play a lot better, and having like kind of a return to form and just to play well on stage again just feels so good.
There's a lot of talk about that resiliency as well, and I'm hearing that was on multiple levels. Did you have some travel trouble coming into this and had to take a bus or something of the sort?
No, our flight got delayed, so we got in at like 5 a.m. So the last couple of days has literally just been like me trying to sleep as much as possible so that I can like be awake for the match, and that's been like my preparation.
Rest up and prepare. And you have more that you have to prepare for going into tomorrow. I think there's a lot of weight on this series, not just because of it being a finals, but first things first, it's against Cloud9. You've got a rich history being a part of that team. What is that like taking to the stage against that squad?
Gosh, I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like the mindset I want to have going into it is just that it's another game of League, you know? So I don't really actually have too much to say about that.
Another game of League, different stakes though from yesterday and today. I gotta ask you about MSI as well. I know that there was probably a bit of a bitter tinge when you'd qualified previously in 2020 and MSI was ripped away from you. Is there some extra relief in being able to go and attend this time?
Well, it is nice to go, but I will have to defend my undefeated at MSI title as being one of the few players in the world to qualify for MSI and not lose a single game. So that'll be really tough.
I know that you and Golden Guardians have built up a lot of fans going into that matchup and trying to, create this really build up for the organization throughout playoffs, even before MSI. Is there anything you would like to say to the fans and everyone watching your journey and your teammates, all of the work that you have put in thus far?
Just thanks for the support, and we're going to go all the way.
You love to hear it, Licorice. You love to hear it. Congratulations again to you and the rest of your team for the victory here today. We've got more to talk about when it comes to this series. Let's head back on over to the lounge.
Thank you so much, Gabby. No better way to end the winner's interview than we're taking it all the way. I love the confidence out of Golden Guardians after they win a grueling battle against the second seed, but now they'll have to stare down Cloud9 in the finals. Now, all that said, Licorice also pointed out, only undefeated player at MSI. Let's go. We do have our 2 MSI finalists here, or our 2 finalists will be going to MSI, is perhaps a better way to say it. It's
don't spoil MSI for us.
They mailed me the script in advance, and I'm sorry that I leaked it all here. But what a showing for Golden Guardians. Not only do they get their first trip to a domestic finals, but they're also going to go to international competition. I mean, they're just like stacking firsts on top of each other here in this one.
Yeah, it feels so good for a lot of the staff as well. We talked to Anero and Spooks before, who were there through the lean times at Golden Guardians as well, to come out the other end. These players all have a bit of a redemption story for them. We talked a lot about Licorice, Stixxay, huhi. River's been to multiple MSIs himself. Gori has not been able to make it to international competition, so it's the first time for him. So there's just so many cool storylines about this team.
Yeah, people love an underdog story. It did feel like throughout the series, the fans got more on the side of Golden Guardians. And we can spend a lot of the pre-show tomorrow talking about how every single one of these players has been considered an underdog at some point.
Yeah, I feel like this is probably the most underdog story. It's probably the dog under the dog. Because in no way would you expect this at the beginning of the split. In fact, everybody was going against them. So the fact that you go throughout the entire split and you come to this conclusion, it's insane. I feel, go on.
It's also cool just to see huhi and Stixxay return to MSI together, right? Because they're reuniting on this Golden Guardians team. Everyone doubted them, including myself. But they were part of that CLG team. We were celebrating the CLG moments that went to an MSI finals in 2016 unexpectedly.
Yeah, there's just something like weirdly melancholic and poetic about the current situation where it's huhi and Stixxay who helped bring North America to some of the highest heights they've ever been to at that time with CLG as the organization. The unfortunate news with CLG this week, but you still get this sweetness to it a little bit where it's huhi and Stixxay yet again making this insane run, making it back to MSI again. Like, there's just something weird that this is all kind of cosmically coming together.
Yes, and they've said it multiple times before, but even coming into the finals, the interview that Stixxay did with Degon, just mentioning the fact that when he heard that huhi was going to be on the team, he's like, yes, I want to, if there was a chance to work with huhi, I want to work with huhi, because he remembers those times. So, hey, this is the result that they were able to get off of it.
We got 7 domestic titles across the entire roster of Golden Guardians. They're looking to make that 12 tomorrow by adding 1 to each of those rows there, Jet. I think it's a tall order, but I mean, they've already shirked expectation all the way here.
They really have. Think of the teams they have eliminated. 100 Thieves, EG, and now FlyQuest.
Wow.
If they added C9 to that list, it would be an absolutely one of the most impressive runs we would have ever seen.
All right. Well, it wasn't an easy choice, I'll tell you that much. But we got to talk about the player of the series. The man who got it done for the team in the critical moments was none other than Licorice.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Ooh.
The underdog player of the series.
I know.
I voted for this one, and I think part of it was just the absolute crazy impact he had in games 4 and 5, which are the highest pressure situations of the series. When it looked like everything was going to be lost, he had the clutchest place.
Yeah, and I think the big thing that has, again, come out of this Golden Guardians team is that Licorice was the player that everyone was denigrating throughout the season, right? Like, they were like, he's the worst top laner. They'd be so much better if they got someone who wasn't Licorice. And he comes into this playoff run and absolutely shows up. He's such a key component of their drafts in a lot of these counter picks. They're relying, like, they were talking about how, Trevor was talking about how who he says he's going to lock something in and they trust him, right? I think they do the same with Licorice, right? Because obviously he's like, yeah, I'll play it. It's fine.
And Mark, how special then for him to get player of the series in qualifying for a match against Cloud9 of all teams and Fudge of all players.
And beating Impact in FlyQuest, who he went to
there's so many layers.
He also replaced Impact. There's just like connections everywhere.
Yeah, it's like an onion. So many layers.
Huhi went through all of his old teammates, and Licorice is trying to go through all of his old orgs.
Yeah, it's wild. It's absolutely wild. All right, well, with today's series in the books, we now know our two competitors for the finals tomorrow. Golden Guardians won the lower bracket battle, but look who's making their way into the PNC arena. The defending champions in Cloud9, led by MVP Berserker. They're looking to be the first team to win back-to-back trophies since 2019, with 4 returning members and the addition of M&S. They're looking just as scary as last year. Now, of course, on the other side, Golden Guardians have run the lower bracket. They've made the miracle run with Stixxay and huhi leading the charge like it's 2016 all over again. Cloud9 dominated the regular season, but Golden Guardians have been making miracles happen all split long. Now they have the opportunity to settle the score one last time. Will Cloud9 go back-to-back, or will Stixxay win his first title in 7 years? Find out tomorrow in our Spring Championship Finals. Welcome to Raleigh, North Carolina, and welcome to 2 series that are going to determine our second representative to MSI and our Spring 2023 champion. Huhi's ready to go. VicLa down to 300 HP. He might just die here at the very start. He holds on a second longer, but Stixxay guns him down. FlyQuest trying to fight back, but Prince is the victim of regicide, and it's a triple kill over to Stixxay. VicLa rotating up through mid lane as Gori's going to look to do the same. Stixxay gets tagged, jumps over the wall. He's going to get focused down. Stixxay, he thought he was just baiting him, but he's going to get run over. FlyQuest have punished Golden Guardians, who have completely lost control over the game.
Go front. Keep going. I go Leona.
Golden Guardians, they had a real nice early game, but FlyQuest team fighting proved superior. FlyQuest shot calling proved superior, and FlyQuest take game 1. Gori has arrived, but he's arrived too late. He jumps in, and now he's got backup. Now they're gonna make it a 2-for-1. Now the Golden Guardians are mad as hell. They found River, but I don't think that's a target you're gonna win a team fight off of, not when Golden Guardians is this far ahead. Stixxay jumped on by Spica, but he's not afraid. Stixxay's actually ready to turn this one back around. Did they forget what champion he's playing? There is a cheat code. AABB up, down, left, right. Get the hell out of here.
로그콘, yeah. Wait. Look me. I go. Okay. Banana flash. Go trade. Push mid. Nice.
Weaver's wall rides them in, and now FlyQuest and Prince are all trapped in between the wall and Golden Guardians. Or are they? They just go forward, and they just don't stop. Stixxay went up. He dodged away from the Malphite engage, but the follow-up from spica was not enough. But it wasn't. Golden Guardians turn it around. Double kill after the Stixxay, making a triple. Golden Guardians fighting back. It's so much damage. FlyQuest are done. Yes! He brings the Cataclysm. He heals up, but it ain't gonna be enough. Winsome is dead. Prince is dead. Golden Guardians strike back for vengeance, and they strike true.
But will we see the engage?
Stixxay gets shielded. Yes, we will. River goes in, and Prince goes down. FlyQuest just can't fight back. The dive from the Golden Guardians is beautiful. Gori's gonna follow it up, and FlyQuest are done.
Oh my goodness, no way.
Wow.
Razzie is decked out, my friend.
I'm telling you guys, it's going to be a Golden Guardians win. What do you guys think?